Shalom, shalom. Once again, this is your Akazaki Yahoo, joined by my most esteemed Akinanaya. Shalom, Aki.
Shalom, shalom, Maki. Well, Shabbat shalom, Maki.
Shalom, yes,
Shabbat
indeed.
shalom, Yasharal.
Yes, indeed. It is the Sabbath day, and we are just running through some videos real quick and easy here. Got a special treat for you after that last one was kind of a bit of a bummer. Uh, the Devil's Punch Bowl, that was a bit harsh. Wanted to give y'all something to be feel good about. And so we're going to get into the deacons here. So here we go. Shabbat shalom indeed. All praises to the Father once again. Definitely not to leave him out. He is our power, and we appreciate all that he is and all that he has done. So
That's right.
in the name of the Son, the Messiah, yes indeed. So
Mm-hmm.
all right, here's the deacons. Enjoy this one. You're going to enjoy this one. 7 minutes. So shout out to Trap History.
The day of the rally arrived, and the deacons were ready. They had gathered a group of armed men, all trained and ready to defend themselves and their community. As they approached the rally site, they could see the clan members gathering, their hoods and robes making them look like a menacing army. The deacons stood their ground, watching as the clan members started to march towards them, chanting hateful slogans and waving Confederate flags. The tension was palpable, and everyone knew that a clash was inevitable. The two groups met in the middle of the street, and the air was filled with the sounds of shouts and screams. Suddenly, shots rang out, and chaos erupted. The deacons had opened fire on the clan members, and the clan members were firing back. In the midst of the gunfire and chaos, one of the deacons saw a group of clan members approaching a nearby church, where a group of black children were attending a Sunday school class. Without hesitation, he ran towards the church, determined to protect the children. He burst through the doors, his gun at the ready, and found himself face to face with several clan members. Without a second thought, he fired, taking them down one by one. The other deacons, seeing what was happening, ran to the church to help. The scene was a bloody mess, with bodies littering the street and the air thick with smoke. But in the end, the deacons emerged victorious. They had shown the clan that they were not to be trifled with, and that they would stop at nothing to defend their community. As they left the scene, one of the deacons couldn't help but think about how far they had come. They had started out as a small group of men, determined to fight back against the clan, and now they were a force to be reckoned with. The deacons had proven that even in the face of violence and hatred, they would stand tall and fight for what was right. One of the most intense clashes between the Deacons and the KKK occurred in Bogalusa, Louisiana in 1965. The Klan had been terrorizing the black community for years, and the Deacons had had enough. On a hot summer day, a group of about 25 Deacons led by Charles Sims, a former paratrooper, approached a Klan rally armed with shotguns, rifles, and pistols. The Klan was caught off guard and quickly scattered, but not before firing a few shots at the Deacons. A fierce gun battle ensued, with both sides firing at each other from behind trees and bushes. The Deacons managed to hold their ground, and after several hours of fighting, the Klan retreated. The Deacons were able to drive the Klan out of Bogalusa for good, and their victory inspired other black communities to form their own self-defense groups. The incident also caught the attention of the federal government, which began to crack down on the KKK's activities in the area. The clash at the Bogalusa rally was a turning point for the Deacons, who became known as one of the most effective black self-defense groups in the country. They continued to protect their communities from white supremacist violence, and their legacy lives on today as a symbol of black resistance and resilience.
They run away from you.
So I'm sure you never heard this story in your was it American history book,
Con.
Deacons of self-defense, the protecting the black community from the evil ones who would come against us. And yeah, I didn't learn about this until, again, shout out to Trap, this particular channel. I forgot the name of it that quick. What I say was?
I done forgot as well.
Trap history. That's what I meant to say. Trap history. So, but yeah, they brought this out, and this is amazing. To hear this history that is uncovered, that is not covered in mainstream historical points. But these brothers fought against the Klan and often won with bullets and guns and rifles and shotguns and even pistols. They went head to head with those with the same type of ammunition and ability that they had, and they were able to defeat them. So let's continue here. More in the story. Oh, you got anything on that?
But yeah, this is definitely a uplifting story of what can happen when you're bold and you take courage, like we're commanded to do.
Absolutely. And I can't discount. They said that he said in the story that some Klansmen were coming towards a church filled with children in a Sunday school class, and we don't deal with that in this modern time and this understanding, but that was what our people was dealing with at that time, and they sought to be pleasing to what they were serving, and they were hoping to serve the Most High. I was in that church at one time trying to serve the Most High with a pure heart, and they probably were a lot closer than these churches are today. I don't know. I'm not gonna get too deep into that one, but let's continue.
Welcome to this episode of Trap History, where we dive deep into the forgotten stories of Black American history. Today, we're discussing the Deacons for Defense and Justice, a group of African American men who stood up to the Ku Klux Klan in Louisiana during the height of the Civil Rights Movement. It's the early 1960s in Louisiana, and segregation is the law of the land. The Ku Klux Klan is active and violent, regularly terrorizing Black communities with intimidation, violence, and even murder. In response, a group of African American men in the town of Jonesboro, Louisiana, decided to take matters into their own hands. They formed an armed self-defense group known as the Deacons for Defense and Justice, with the goal of protecting their families and communities from Klan violence.
I'm talking about building up. I'm talking about real weapons. I'm talking about arming every one of us. We're gonna give guns to a mob of angry niggas. The white man put us to work. Out in the fields, in the factories, and down on.
The Deacons were not a formal organization, but a loose network of men who shared a common goal. They patrolled the streets, guarded meetings and protests, and provided security for civil rights activists who came to Louisiana to help in the struggle. The Deacons' weapons were legally owned, and they only used them in self-defense, but their very existence was a powerful statement. For the first time, African Americans were taking a stand against the Klan and other white supremacist groups, and they were doing it with force. The Deacons' tactics were controversial, even among some in the civil rights movement who believed in nonviolence. But the Deacons argued that they had no choice. They were fighting for their lives and the lives of their families. And their tactics worked. Klan violence in Louisiana decreased significantly after the Deacons came onto the scene. In fact, the Klan even called for a truce with the Deacons, acknowledging that they were not going to be able to continue their reign of terror against the Black community. The Deacons for Defense and Justice may not be a well-known part of civil rights history, but their legacy lives on. They showed that African Americans could and would stand up for their rights, even in the face of violent opposition. They paved the way for other self-defense groups, like the Black Panther Party, and helped shift the balance of power in the fight for civil rights. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Trap History. We hope you learned something new today.
Yeah. Once again, shout out to Trap History for bringing out this this great insight on the Deacons for self-defense, the civil rights and self-defense. Uh, Interesting historical points about information that is not talked about. I'm sure that there were various groups of various people who did not want to stand for the same protocol. You know, when we are familiar with the Black Panther Party for self-defense and some of their exploits and how they were uh, basically eradicated. But some of these other organizations predate, like these Deacons, they predate those ones, and show a lot of great historical. They were in Louisiana, another place I've been to barely. I've been to Monroe. That's as deep as in Louisiana I've been. Nothing past that. So anyhow, what you think about it, Doc?
This is I've mentioned this is when we're walking upright. This shouldn't be surprising. I've got some scripture for us coming out of the book of Joshua, chapter 1, and Joshua chapter 1, beginning at verse 5, and it reads, "There shall not any man be able to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moshe, so I will be with you. I will not fail you nor forsake you. Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shall you divide for an inheritance the land, which I swore unto their fathers to give them. Only be you strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the Torah which Moshe, my servant, commanded you. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. This book of the Torah shall not depart out of your mouth, but you shall meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy ways prosperous, and then you shall have good success." So verse 9 concluding, have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for Yahweh thy power is with you, whithersoever you goest. So, it's are we under these curses? Yes. These brothers that were these deacons, were they keeping law, statute, and commandments? It's questionable. I don't know it for certain. However, we can see them being bold and courageous, and in this moment, the Abba was with them. All praises to the Most High.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Doc. That's a very great point. Protecting your people, there's no sin in that. Doing well to your people, there's no sin in that. And standing up against the adversary, there's no sin in that. You know what I'm saying? So, did they have it completely right? Absolutely not. Do we got it completely right? Completely? I would beg to differ. I'm pretty sure that when the Mashiach come, he's gonna set us in order.
Man, I appreciate you saying that, because I feel the same way. I think I strive to do right, but I have questions because this heritage has been lost to us.
Right.
So, we're trying to return. So, we do have questions if we're following out these instructions in totality. So, very good point.
Absolutely. All praises to the Father. And once again, shout out to Trap House. Check out their channel on YouTube. Lots of good information there. And we're going to conclude this particular video. And I hope this was educational and insightful for all of those who have not heard of the Deacons and continue to research. I'm hoping there's more information available about them and those that were like them or similar to them at that particular time frame. We're going to close out again with the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter number 12 and verse number 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It is imperative that we understand that in the conclusion of the whole matter, we are to fear the Most High and keep his commandments, because this is the whole duty of man. And at the end of the day, when it is all said and done, we must fear the Most High and keep his commandments, because this is the whole reason that we are here. I am your Akazaki Yahoo, joined by my most esteemed Akakinanaya. We give all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah Bahashem, Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And until we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation under the Most High, under one covenant. Till that day, Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom, Mr. Pakar.